Good morning, everyone. How are you guys today? Oh, just a sec. Let me turn off my heater. It is a gorgeous, it'll be off in about 20 seconds. It is a gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous sunny day here on the West Coast, and there is just the beginnings of a little bit of snow on the mountains. It's not because we've had any rain or snow. It's because it's finally cold enough for them to make snow on the runs. And I am looking out over some gorgeous farm fields. There is an eagle flying in the distance, and the mountains are just beautiful. So thank you for joining me here on my weekly Facebook Live. I call it a Facebook Live, but you know, it would be so much more fun if it was just a live chat. So if you've got questions, pop them in the comment box. If you're joining me and you like what I'm saying, you resonate with it, give me a thumbs up. If you have some other ideas or questions that you have for me that you'd like me to have do a Facebook Live on, you just let me know and I'll weave it into one of my topics. I am here and committed to showing up every week to see you guys. And I want to do this in a way that helps you best. So let's dive in. If you're watching this live, hey. If you're watching the replay, I am so glad you're here. Today I wanted to talk about, have you always secretly wanted to be a life coach? I know a ton of people that say, oh, I wish I could do that. I wish I could do what you're doing. I've always wanted to be a coach. And I thought that it would be interesting for you to hear what are the 5 top qualities of people who are great life coaches, and 2 things that you don't need, 2 qualities you don't have to be a great life coach. So if you're always being curious, gee, I wonder if that's something that I should do, have a listen, have a watch, and you let me know what you think. Also, let me know what your opinion is. These are my opinion based on my experience, but I'm always open to learning more and finding out more things that I just didn't think about before. Okay, so let's dive in. I've got notes. You guys, you want to see my notes? Crazy, right? You'd think that they don't mean anything, but they actually mean something to me. So let's start with the 5 qualities that a successful life coach needs or has. And the first is a desire for personal growth. So when you're a coach, you hold space for people, you have great conversations to help them get a new perspective and try something different in their life so that they can have a more fulfilling life. They can get more of what they want and they have less of what they don't want. So you also need to be on your own personal growth path. And that means that you probably read self-help books. You probably watch great YouTube videos. Maybe you're one of the people who love the TED or the TEDx talks. You probably are often seen in the local bookstores looking through the self-help section or the creativity section, or sometimes even some alternate health sections. So that's one thing. And you also need to have your own coach. It is really interesting to me the number of people who take their coach training and have never actually been coached before they walk in the door. So yeah, you may be all about the personal growth, but unless you've had that experience of being coached, you really don't know what you're in for. And most of those people who do walk in the door in a coach training, they end up loving it. But it's only when they kind of start that they realize how even more powerful coaching is than they thought. And I will tell you that if you're curious about becoming a life coach, then get coached. Even if all you do is have one little mini coaching session with a coach. I'm always available for a 20-minute quick coaching call. You can have a look on my website. I'll pop the link in there as well in the comments section, as well as in the description for this video. So yeah, you know, something that you've always been curious about, come on and have a little coaching session with me. I'm happy to coach with you guys. My aim is to make it easier. Let me just see if I've got my intent right here, my feeling right, so that I can describe it. I believe that coaching is the industry of today and the industry of the future, and that every person could use a coach, especially if you knew what a coach can do for you. So I want to make it so that more coaches can exist, more coaches can be successful, and more people can be coached. So I'm always open to doing a free coaching session with you guys. As I said, I'll amend the comments there so you can see a link to grab that if you choose. So you're on your own personal growth path. That's quality number one. Quality number two is that you have a welcoming and open attitude. You welcome all kinds of different people, and you can make them feel welcome. Lots of times when people come into coaching, they're kind of nervous. They don't really know what they're getting into, but they know that what they've got right now isn't what they want. They either want more or they want less. Maybe they're stressed, maybe they're unhappy, maybe they have a goal that they're trying to achieve and they just can't figure out how to get it. Regardless of what they're arriving at coaching with, they're coming and they're feeling a little nervous. They're trying something new oftentimes, and they can feel vulnerable coming into a coaching call for the very first time. So a good coach has a welcoming, open attitude so that that new person coming in, you can help them to feel comfortable, help them to get settled. So that's the second quality of a successful life coach. Third quality, as you guys see, I'm looking at my notes here, is empathy. You care about people, you have a big heart, and you can take the perspective of others and feel into their emotions so that you can really hold that space for them, the place where they can try new things and have these new perspectives and have an open conversation, and they can feel accepted. And not only do you have this warm, kind-hearted way about you, but you also have a desire to help. So it's not about being taking on other people's emotions all the time. That's not what it's about. It's about being able to connect with people at an emotional level and a desire to help them. As you become a coach and as you become a better coach, you learn how to create your own boundaries around being that compassionate being, but not absorbing everybody else's emotions, because you don't want to do that. It doesn't serve them. It doesn't help you, and it sure doesn't help the world for you to take on everybody else's emotions and then claim them as your own. You got your own life to deal with. So first was personal growth, committed to your own personal growth, get coached as well. Second was a welcoming, open attitude. Third is compassionate, a compassionate, empathetic person. Fourth is respectful. You are respectful that other people can and will choose the right path for themselves. And you respect that even though you might not think that it's quite right, you don't actually know what their true path is and what they want to experience, need to try. And so you respect them enough that they can make their own choices. You respect them enough to support them in the choices that they make. And you respect them enough to hold them up to that higher ideal for themselves, that higher place where you know that they can be more fulfilled and that they can have a better life. So respect for the way people live their lives and the choices they make is a huge thing. So that's number 4. And the fifth quality of an excellent life coach is curiosity, endless curiosity. So if you're the kind of person that's always saying, I wonder why it's like that. I wonder why they said that. I wonder, from a place of not judging, not saying, I wonder why they did that. Well, that was crap that they did it. But I truly wonder. If you are the person who is always curious, like, tell me how you went from here to here. Tell me your story about how that happened. You're curious why somebody made that decision. You're curious why they tried that. You're curious what the results were. So this endless curiosity, but curiosity without judgment. And when I say this curiosity, it reminds me of like a 3-year-old, like a 3-year-old who's driving in the car, they're sitting in their car seat, in the back seat, and you're maybe on a little road trip together, and they keep saying, well, why? Well, why is it like that? Now, they're not being antagonistic. They're really curious to understand, like they don't quite get it yet. And they're curious because they want to know more. They want to understand better. So that is the 5th quality of an excellent life coach. Somebody who wants to be a life coach probably has all 5 of those. So think about yourself and think about how you feel about those 5. Let me just name them again to you. The first is being empathetic, compassionate, empathetic, kind-hearted being. You're also committed to your own personal growth. You have a welcoming and open attitude. You are respectful of others, their choices, and how they live their life. And finally, you're curious. And you're curious, endlessly curious, about people and their stories and their lives and the way they choose to live them. Those are the 5. Now, here's the 2 things, because I told you guys I was going to tell you 2 things you don't have to have, 2 qualities you don't have to have that you might have thought you did. So the first is you don't have to know all the answers. You don't have to be the expert. If somebody comes to you to get coached on a topic that you're not that familiar with, that's okay. Your coaching provides them a place where they can figure it out in partnership with you. You don't need to be the expert. If you want to be the expert, perhaps you're a better mentor, perhaps you're a better consultant. There's a definite space for an expert. But as a coach, you allow them to grow into the right choices for them. So you don't need to know all the answers. So new coaches, when they're going into their first few coaching sessions, they get kind of worried, like, what if they talk about something that I just don't know that much about? Well, that's perfectly fine. And that's to be expected. So you can approach the coaching conversation and not have to put all that pressure on yourself that you don't have to know it all. So that was the first, do not have to have. And the second is that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have your life all together to be an awesome coach. You're human. You get to have your bumps, your bruises, your stumbling places, your incredible gifts, your awesome fun things that you do, the great relationships that you have. You get to have all of those and be a coach. You don't need to be an enlightened being to be a coach. You need to be a human with everything that goes on in your life as a human. So the 5 qualities I see in great coaches: compassion, curiosity, an endless desire for personal growth, respect for others, and a welcoming, open attitude. The 2 things that you don't need is you don't have to know all the answers, and you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all together. You get to be human. So what do you guys think? I see there's been a few of you come on and come off, and I'm so glad that you joined me. I think that was it for today's call. 15 minutes? Yeah, perfect timing. I hope you guys found this useful. I'd love to hear what your comments are on it. And as I said, I'll put another link in the live video comment section so you can see a way that you could try coaching if you've never tried it. And I've also got a link in there for people who are really curious about being a life coach, the essential checklist of everything you need to do to start your life coaching practice. Have a wonderful day. I get to go out for lunch today and enjoy the beautiful weather, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.